Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 266 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition. And in this chapter, I've been thinking about changing the direction that I'm going with a particular type of tools that I use. So if you want to see what I've been thinking of, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, I hinted at it in my last video, in my bathroom shelf cabinet storage video, that I'm kind of changing my thoughts about cordless tools. Um, and I explained in that video that basically a rigid battery that wouldn't accept charge anymore. And I mean, it's old. So I'm not going to throw rigid under the bus here. I did find back in the back in 2012, 2013, 2014, their lifetime service agreement was weak. It was poor. I actually felt it was false advertising, and I wrote an article to that effect when I wrote for the Saskatchewan Woodworker. So, but I started thinking about, first of all, there are only two or three conglomerates in the world that basically make all the tools. I think the only standalone company still is Makita, but everything is owned by a couple of people or groups. And I don't know if I like that. I don't particularly support that. There's supposed to be competition in the industry, but we all know that that's a joke. So I thought, well, I have a local retailer here that I've really liked working with throughout my teaching career. They've been exceptionally good to me, and that's Princess Auto here in Canada. So I thought, well, maybe what I should do is look into their line of cordless tools, their Powerfist line. Now, I don't know, I haven't used enough of them yet, and that's going to be an ongoing thing because I think what I'm going to do is, as one of my fleet of cordless tools drops, I'm going to replace it with a Powerfist. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm just starting that now, but I have very high regard for Princess Auto as a business. They allowed me through my teaching career. So I have a long-term relationship with them. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just telling you like it is. If you're in Canada, I think that's a place that is worth supporting. Now, when I was teaching, I would always try to do new things with my kids, but budgets don't allow for that. So often I would go out and buy, I don't know, 10 tin snips with my own money. I'd buy them cheap there. I remember buying 10 little vices. They clamp on the edge of your counter. And then I had kids, they would make their rings because we just didn't have enough capacity in the shop to handle the numbers I was getting. And, those vices were junk, but they took them all back. I didn't waste money trying something new. And invariably, they always came out ahead, I'm sure, because I would go and buy the next thing, and usually the next thing would work. And that's the way I could run my program, keep innovating, trying new things, and yet not breaking the budget all the time. But one other side effect of that is that's why my shop is so full. Like, not the big tools, but I have lots of tin snips. I have lots of, although the little vices I brought back, I kept one just for keepsake, but I have lots of stuff because I always outfitted for about 5 or 6 students. So, and when I bought it, when I left the shop, I took it with me. So I think that's reasonable. But anyway, now dealing with a house brand can be a problem. And I've already been burned on this. Um, and I think it was about 2016, 2017. I was looking for a good cordless chainsaw because I thought, well, we're going to do some classes here. I want to be able to cut blanks, turning blanks, and not go outside in the cold because I don't like the cold. Anyway, I came across cobalt and I realized Greenworks and cobalt were the same thing, just different plastic, blue plastic instead of green and yellow plastic or whatever Greenworks is. Um, that first generation cobalt 18-inch chainsaw that I have is the best battery powered chainsaw that I've ever used. I did buy a second generation because I think the first generation one, I cut 90 trees down in my yard with that thing. Some of them like big and like 30-year-old tower poplars. And I thought I wanted to be sure I had a good saw, so I bought another one. And shortly after that, I did a test. When I was writing for the guild newsletter, my neighbor next door had a Husqvarna dealership at the time, and my other neighbor, they had a Milwaukee chainsaw, battery powered. And what else did I have? I had one other one, and I forget what it was. But that first generation Cobalt that I had ran circles around those other saws. I was quite disappointed in the quality of the Husqvarna saws. They have a great name, but when it came to cutting logs and splitting them like I do with for turning blanks, I would take my first generation Cobalt hands down. But the problem is Lowe's is pulled out of Canada. So they're orphaned. I'm stuck with equipment now that I can't get any support for, which is extremely frustrating because I would like to have an 80-volt edger. Oh yeah, by the way, the stuff I have is all the 80-volt platform, which is great in my opinion. And I have enough batteries. I made sure of that. But I would really like a lawn edger yet, but I don't think I'll ever get one. And then when everything wears out, I'll buy another platform, I guess. But so with a house brand, you are taking some chances. Rigid is the same, Ryobi, they're house brands. But I'm willing to gamble on Powerfist because the service I've gotten from Princess Auto has been so exceptional over the last 40 years. Excuse me. And their return policy is second to none. So I think I'm going to experiment with that a little bit. And so what I did is uh, the first, I was in, I don't know, Princess Auto probably 2 weeks ago. And the 2 amp hour battery, they're 20 volt, 2 amp hour battery and the charger were on sale and they were right around $50. I think regular price is like 59 or something. Wasn't a screaming sale, but still a sale. So I bought a battery and the charge stand. And then I thought, well, what's a tool, a cheap tool that I'm going to be able to use? And I'm always thinking about teaching kids when I do this. And I thought, well, you know what? A random orbital sander would be a great tool to start with because that way I can put it in the hands of my kids right away and see how long it lasts. So, what I did is and this is another thing, I think I explained in another video. They have a policy if you see that item you want to buy was on sale within the last 30 days, then they'll give you the sale price. So I bought a 5-inch random orbital sander for, oh boy, I think regular price on it is $39. I think I paid 33. Again, not a screaming sale, but save you a few bucks. And I've been talking to them about the warranty on this stuff. And what I what I've come to realize after talking with an employee and a floor manager the last time I was there is that their guarantee is basically no sale is final until you're satisfied. And if you want to look this up, go to their website and it talks about it. Basically, they say they will do what it takes to make you happy. Now, on a battery, I asked them specifically about the battery, and they they weren't as sure. Like again, though, a battery to me is a bit more of a consumable. So they seem to suggest that if the battery was defective, like if it was a manufacturing issue or then it was completely covered. To get full warranty, it's probably a good idea to have your sales slip handy. You don't actually need it there though, because they keep track of everything. I give them my phone number and it's all recorded. So, but one worker I talked to suggested that to get that extended warranty or that guarantee, it was better if you had the sales slip. Anyway, I'm probably not getting this 100% correct. I would encourage you, though, to go to their website. And in fact, I may show a clip of it yet. We'll see how it goes. But um, I've been happy with them. They've been really good to me. It's a store that I feel that I can trust. They're locally owned. They tick all the boxes. So some people think that the stuff they sell is junk, and I've bought stuff there that hasn't held up, but they've always stood behind it, and then I don't care. So, and I'm not in a situation where if a tool goes down for me that I lose time. Like my neighbor, the electrician, he is a very staunch Makita guy, and because Makita has served him very well over the years, and he can't be down. Like when a drill goes, if they're roughing in a house, if a drill goes, that has to be up and running again right away. In fact, I think he's got extras or whatever, but downtime is not an option. So he's got a great supplier in Saskatoon and he trusts them and he's loyal to them. So with that in mind, let's go take a look at the sander and battery that I bought, and you can judge for yourself whether you think I'm a fool going this direction or whether it's a stroke of genius. Okay, I'm going to head over to where they are. We'll move you over there and we'll continue. Well, here we are. This is my latest acquisition here. It's a 20 volt Powerfist 5-inch random orbital sander. And the battery that goes with it is this 2 amp hour battery and the charger stand. So I brought one of my Bosches. This is relatively new as well. And I also bought it from Princess Auto. They sell Bosch too. And they every once in a while would put these sanders on sale. And okay, let's maybe start looking at these two sanders side by side and just see kind of how things compare. First of all, price. Well, on sale, I think I can often buy this thing for about $69. Their their online catalog lists this thing as $99 now, and the Powerfist online $39.99. But you need a battery and a charge stand to use it as well, and that's another $60, $59.99 on their website. This is no sale prices, nothing. Okay, so the initial investment to get into this is a little higher, but once you have batteries, then the tools are cheaper. So that's the value component of this comparison. I have a few things here. Maybe I should tell you kind of how I'm evaluating these things. I've got the value, the features, dust collection, noise, vibration, uh, yeah, battery. I want to talk about a couple of other things as well that I've noticed over the years. So, okay, let's talk about features. Okay, this is variable speed. Where's here it is? It's from 1 to 6. I don't know if you can see that there. Let's bring you in close, right there, and it works quite good. I have no complaints about this. I actually had two students in the shop here today, really, really young people. Well, not really, really young, but I would say younger than what I'd normally work with, from Saskatoon. And the president of the Woodworkers Guild brings them out, and they've been building swords and shields and things like that. So they both sanded quite a bit today, and we ran these two sanders. So, um, yeah, this one, and I didn't realize this thing is not a variable speed sander. So it's obviously a cheaper line, but the speed it runs at seems to be just fine. And they were using it on par with the other one. So it didn't matter to them that it wasn't variable speed. Okay, let's dust collection. Well, okay. On the Powerfist one, this actually works pretty good, but it kind of looks pretty cheesy. Like it's you know, but it works great. Like I cleaned it just before I started shooting video, and it works good. The kids had no complaints today. This one, that it obviously looks nicer. It's more durable, but it's also a lot harder to change. So, and both of these tools, I wouldn't say that one necessarily has an advantage in dust collection. If you're using a random orbital sander and it's just using the bag it came with, in my opinion, they're probably lacking. So I'd call that pretty much a tie. So the dust collection. Now, as far as hooking up to another source, uh, I think they both kind of, this one might be a little easier initially because when you undo this, there we go, you've got a decent sized port there that you could hook up to. Here, I'll let you guys see that again. Not sure what that is. It might be, what is it, 1.25 inches? But and I like the way this thing goes on. Like it slides on and you rotate it a little bit and it locks nicely. That's kind of well done. This is a little bit of a nightmare to change. You got to lift this up and pull things out, but this whole thing comes off, and there would be a space to put a port to run directly to the vacuum as well. So far I haven't set up to do that. Maybe someday I will. All right, let's move right along. Dust collection, noise. Okay, well, for this, we're actually going to turn them on. So the battery just slides in like that. Okay, noise. I don't have a meter or anything to test. I guess there is one on my phone I could use, but I'm using it as a camera now. So, but anyway, let's just see what this one does. Okay, that's on speed 1. Let's crank it up a little bit. That's at 4. Okay, let's try this one. Plugged in. Boy, they're close. They are very much the same in noise. Vibration also seems to be about the same. Now this one's new. This one's boy, probably about 6 months old. I'm gonna guess. Maybe a year. So it maybe would have gone through three groups of students. So it's a little more used. We'll see how this one does over time, but so far, I'm pretty good with it. Okay, vibration. Well, my students today that ran these, and it was more like anecdotal evidence. We didn't test anything precisely. They didn't complain about the vibration a whole lot. They've run palm sanders here before, and they know that there's shaking and their hands can get, sleepy. And they didn't say anything about the vibration. Let's just do a little quick test here. Whoa. Okay. That's hard to tell. Again, they're pretty close. If I had to call a winner, though, I'd give it to the Bosch. I think it's a little better balanced. Um, Now, the battery life, I'm not sure because I haven't had to charge it yet. I put it in here just so I could keep track of it, and it was charging. So we'll see how long the battery lasts and how good that is. This it runs. Even if the power is out, if I hook up the generator to the house, the shop is live, it'll run. So we've got more power here than here, but that's inherent in the design of the tool. Not really a fair comparison. There is one thing that I want to talk about, though, a little bit that maybe doesn't come up very often in sander comparisons, and that is the Velcro. I've bought a few of these Bosch sanders. I think I have 3 of them. And the oldest one is probably 3 years old. And it's hard to get paper to stick on that thing. I'll have kids, they'll be sanding away, and all of a sudden there'll be a UFO flying across the shop because the paper comes off and gets ejected. And that is extremely annoying. I find us often going to a Hitachi sander that I have, and it's old, but I replaced the Velcro on it, the hook, with the really serious stuff, and it works really good. So I don't know, and the Velcro on this thing, we haven't really tested it yet, but it's a lot harder to pull off than the Bosch. So to me, that's a huge win. Um, the other thing that my students today recognized was weight. This corded version is lighter than, but if you take the battery out, which of course isn't really a good comparison, they feel very similar. This one's a wee bit lighter with the battery out, but that isn't the way you run it. You run it like this, and it is heavier. I like using it because I get tired of the cord, and then I spin this around because I like the battery in the front. That's maybe running it backwards, but that's what I like to do with the limited time that I've used it. My goal is to sand the inside of my bathroom cabinet that was in the last video with this guy just to get used to it. But again, deadline pressure crept up on me, and I didn't get a chance to do that all and shoot this video. So basically, though, what are my thoughts about this sander? Okay, the battery platform, if you look at it separately, you look at the battery platform as being separate, and it's just the tool, the sander, I think it's pretty good. One of the things it'll take me a little getting used to, and it caught one of my students off guard today. When you set this thing down, this one on set down interacts with the wood better. The sander doesn't jump or lurch or anything like that. This one can. So you have to be more conscious when you're putting it on the wood when it's running. Because and you saw it too, I set it down and the mat went, whereas this one doesn't do that. So that's maybe one thing that is a little different. Now, initially, when this is brand new, I'm quite happy with it, but we'll see if I'm happy with it after maybe a year. So you'll see this guy again, and chances are before that time comes up, I'm really eyeing one of their cordless drills. And if they made an impact, but I don't think they make a traditional impact like my Bosch and things like that. I wish they did, because that's what I'd like to have. But anyway, I think one thing we're going to do yet is head over to. Okay, so we're going to head over to my computer and I'll show you what they say about their warranty on their website. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit. All right, I am at Princess Auto's website and I'm looking at what is the Royal Service Promise. This is your guarantee from Princess Auto. No sale is final until you're satisfied. We guarantee, I'm going to read off the screen, make it sound like I'm in grade 3 reading ability here. Okay, no sale is final until you are satisfied. We guarantee to make it right. We will repair, replace, refund any product to your satisfaction. Okay, that's kind of the main line. There's more there, but that I don't think really applies to what I'm talking about. But anyway, so they say they're going to make it right. So, and to my experience, they have lived up to this. I can honestly say that in 40 years, I've never been denied. Everything I've ever taken back. I bought trailer parts. I was going to build a single axle trailer, bought everything when it was on sale, decided I wanted to build a double axle trailer. 5 or 6 years went by before I started building. And I even tried to sell my single axle parts at a garage sale. It never happened. So one day I thought, well, I'm just going to take them back. And I did. And they gave me credit for them. No receipts, nothing. And then I went and picked up 2 or 3 times the value in tandem parts. So anyway, I think this philosophy with returns and keeping your customers happy is a wonderful feature, and that's what keeps me going back. So there it is. It's on the website. If you have any other questions or queries, probably the best might be just to head down to your local Princess Auto and talk to the people in customer service, and you can get a feel for what they're telling you. But like I say, I have never been denied. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that so you realized I wasn't making it up. Well, there it is. No, I am not paid for. Princess Auto has not paid me to say anything. I'm not sponsored. I don't have a big enough following for those kinds of things to happen. I am basically, as a career builder, let's put it that way, teacher, builder, whatever. They have always treated me right. And I am passing along that information to those of you that maybe haven't tried anything there yet, or you're not realizing what a gem you have in your community if you have a Princess Auto store. So, what I'm telling you is the absolute truth as I see it. Like I say, they've been very good to me over the course of my teaching career, which really made my budget stretch and allowed me to do things with kids that very, very few other teachers were doing in our area. So I appreciated that. But as far as their Powerfist line of tools, I'm not too worried about trying them, because their warranty is so good. If I don't like it after 6 months, I just take it back. In 6 months, I don't even need a receipt to take it back. So I don't know, like all the hoops you have to jump through for a lifetime service agreement thing, like with Rigid. Mail everything in, do it so throw salt over your left shoulder at 12 o'clock midnight. The first the first batch that I registered was almost that bad. Of course, I'm joking, but there's no problems. At least I haven't run into any if they do exist. So I just thought I'd pass that information along. I am going to try a house brand cordless tool again, and who knows, maybe I'll get burned, but we're going to give it a try. So like I say, I'm quite impressed with that sander so far. I like the cordless feature of it. Like I get tired of the cord, especially on my table, and my students get tangled up from time to time with cords. So if this works, I could see myself replacing my sanders with cordless ones as well. So anyway, with that in mind, I think they're a good business to work with, and I really appreciate it. And for me, it means a lot that they're locally owned, like out of Winnipeg, basically, as headquarters, and you know, they're just great to deal with. So anyway, on that note, I just thought I'd share that with you on the weekend edition. I have no idea what the next weekly edition is going to be about yet. I would like to do some work outside, but you guys don't seem to be interested in that, so I'm not sure if I'm going to film that. But anyway, with that in mind, those are my problems. Enjoy this, hopefully. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you have bad experience or any experience with Princess Auto, please leave it in the comments. I'd like to hear what others are thinking. But I've been great. I mean, they've been great with me. So anyway, with that in mind, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on the weekly edition, middle of next week. Take care.